William Samoei Ruto clearly outwitted, outmaneuvered, and outfoxed President Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, the entire One Kenya Alliance movement brigades to emerge the winner after the Court of Appeal delivered its judgment on the Building Bridges Initiative process. The question is, how did William Samoei Ruto manage to outwit this gentleman? In this video today, I want to look at the strategies which the Deputy President employed with success. But before we do that, if you are watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. What we do on this channel, for those who are watching for the first time, is that we analyze politics in a way you can't find any other place. So the best thing you can do is to click the subscribe button. Now let us get back to business. The moment President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga entered into the handshake in 2018, the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto read something in this gentleman. He believed that the motive of that handshake was not good for him. Because number one, he was not consulted. Number two, he knew Raila Odinga so well that there must have been a reason why Raila was entering into that handshake. He also knew so well that before the 2017 election, there were rumors that there was a fallout between himself and the Deputy President. Between himself and the President, and therefore the President was not keen on supporting his bid. But before Kenyans knew, the handshake gave birth to the Building Bridges Initiative process. And that process came to an end yesterday. How did William Ruto manage to outwit these two gentlemen? In my view, the Deputy President is a shrewd politician. And these are the methods or strategies which he used to outwit these guys. The first thing he did, the Deputy President read the mood of the country. And he read it so well. The mood of the country was that Building Bridges Initiative process was not a priority. But those who were pushing for the Building Bridges Initiative process were pushing it as a priority, as the solution to the problems facing this country. And when COVID came, that was a golden opportunity for the Deputy President. COVID interfered with everything, the lifestyle, everything in this country. The country was almost coming to an end. He read that Kenyans were dealing with COVID, unemployment, there was no cash for Kenyans, but then those who were supposed to give Kenyans hope were still pushing for the Building Bridges Initiative process. So what he did, the Deputy President went outside there. After reading the mood, he started telling Kenyans that sisi tuachane na maneno ya BBI. Let us fix the economy. Let us deal with COVID. Let us give COVID priority. That was his message. He read the mood of the country so well. By the time the President and Raila Odinga were realizing, it was already late. So that's the first thing. The second strategy which worked for him is what I call messaging and propaganda. The people who are pushing for the Building Bridges Initiative process did a great disservice to the entire process. They never, in my view, understood the importance of messaging, the importance of communicating. At some point, you could ask people, those who are proposing, the proponents of the BBI, you would ask them, what is the benefit of this BBI? They would not really explain. In fact, at some point, they made it appear as if it was a secret thing. It was something which was secretly guarded. And Kenyans were like, why are these guys guarding these things? When they published the bill, they never bothered to issue booklets to Kenyans. And by the time they were doing that, it was already late. But for the Deputy President, his message was very simple. Right? These guys are pushing for BBI because they want to create positions for themselves. And you look at the proposal, there was the President, there was the Deputy President, there was the Prime Minister and two Deputy Prime Minister. Those are 5 positions. But those who are proposing these things were never ready to explain to Kenyans how additional five how additional 5 positions was not going to interfere with our economy. Ruto was simple. Wanajigawia viti. So his messaging got in well. Then there was the element of the propaganda. So the deputy president managed to come up with very sweet propaganda against this document. And Kenyans swallowed effortlessly. And by that, he managed to outwit the two brothers. Up to today, personally, I blame the people who are tasked with communicating. If I may ask, who was in charge of communications for BBI? Nobody. Everybody was saying their things. Just like today, in this country, there is this bottom-up approach, which is giving the deputy president camp a lot of hectic time because nobody is able to explain. That's the exact situation the proponents of BBI were. The third thing the DP did perfectly well was to preempt any move by Uhuru and Raila. So when Uhuru and Raila convened that meeting at Bomas and filled it with their people, the deputy president went there as an unwanted guest. He knew the motive of these guys. At the back of his mind, he knew what Kenyans wanted to hear. So despite being advised not to attend, the DP decided to attend, but to deliver a message. And this message was not meant for those who were inside that hall. His message was meant for those who were outside the hall. He took the podium, and by the time he was leaving, he had questioned every other thing which Kenyans were questioning. Like for example, when you talk of inclusivity, how is adding the president, deputy president, and two prime ministers and a prime minister and two deputy prime ministers, how is it going to achieve inclusivity? That was not coming out clearly. The people who are dealing with the BBI never bothered to explain. So the deputy president just went outside there with a clear messaging. How? So he questioned so many things. At the end of the day, he emerged the hero of that day. Instead of the limelight going for the BBI, the news were about the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto. So he was able to preempt any move by President Uhuru Kenyatta, any move by Raila Odinga at any stage. Number 4 is the fact that the deputy president also decided, in his own wisdom, to work with the civil society. For a long time, the person who was working with the civil society was actually Raila Odinga. But the civil society were opposed to the changes to the constitution, probably because they were not involved. I'm certain if someone had just made an attempt, if the president or Raila Odinga had made the attempt to reach out to civil society and sought for their opinion before coming up with trying to bulldoze this thing, they would have listened. So the deputy president realized that the civil society were opposed to this thing, but nobody was giving them the leadership. Nobody was offering leadership to them. What he did was simple: reach out to them. Through David Indi, then he went through Law Society of Kenya, through President Nelson Harvey. Then these gentlemen were able to bring the civil society together, and the win, the victory against BBI should not be given to the DP. It's the civil society. The civil society then came up with a strategy of court and how they were going to deal with the matter at the courts. But the mere fact that the deputy president saw an opportunity within the civil society, decided to reach out, decided to fund, is the reason why ultimately he ended up as the winner in all this process. Because let's face it, who is the winner out of this? Who? Do you want to tell me Ndi? Or do you want to tell me Martha Karua? No. It's the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto. And that's why today celebrations are all over Kalenjin nation. There are celebrations in Eldoret. There are celebrations in Bomet. There are celebrations in Nandi. Everywhere, including Kabarnet, Gideon Moi's place. And I'm told that it's actually spreading now to central Kenya, because central Kenya, there were no celebrations. So they are also organizing some celebrations there. So the fact is, the deputy president saw an opportunity. He took it. Number 5 is the fact that the deputy president also started dissociating from Jubilee government for a long time. The person who is carrying Jubilee baggage today is Raila Odinga. Jubilee government failed, if you ask me, in this country before the last election. In fact, if you go to Jubilee portal, where they were saying what Jubilee had done through Dennis Itumbi, what NASA that time was referring to as Jubilee portal of lies, there were a lot of lies. That they've done this, they've done that, they've done that. So Kenyans, in their mind, thought that Jubilee government had achieved much based on those information which they were giving out to Kenyans. After the election, that portal was collapsed because it was full of lies. But the truth of the matter is that Kenyans started realizing that Jubilee had not done much, that the economy was doing badly. Yeah, the government had failed. There were no people getting employed. So the deputy president didn't want to carry that Jubilee baggage on his back. So he started dissociating himself from Jubilee, pole pole. By the time Uhuru and Raila were realizing, William Ruto was out of Jubilee. And of course, it was aided by people who didn't want him close to power. And because Kenyans were very bitter with Jubilee, Ruto being now the other side, people started buying whatever he was telling them. And that's how he managed to outwit these guys. And number 6, the 6th approach which he used is actually a populist approach. Picking things which are very bad out of that document and going with it to the people. Like you're telling people you want to increase the number of constituencies, right? Pick it, go with it to the people. And because the Kenyans are not very happy with their members of parliament, their senators and everything, they picked it. And they were very bitter. So this populist approach, where you pick good things which people want to hear or things which people don't want to hear, you take to them, then you incite them, help William Ruto emerge as the guy in all this. And lastly, for those who follow to the DP, I want to refer you to 48 Laws of Power taking formless shape. Initially, William Ruto didn't know where to stand. At some point he was supporting, some point he was opposing, sometimes he was supporting, sometimes he's not opposed to it, sometimes supporting. So he was formless until the BBI started taking shape. And the moment it started taking shape, that's when now he emerged and said no. That also helped him a lot. But for President Uhuru Kenyatta, I'm not sure whether he's going to emerge out of this. And personally, if I were President Uhuru Kenyatta, I'd do 2 things. The first thing I'd do is to call the nation and concede immediately that the country is now bigger than the BBI. He wanted the BBI. He can explain why he wanted the BBI and probably target his messaging to the people of the larger Mount Kenya region. Then after that, take a break. The second thing he must do is to reorganize his advisors or even the cabinet. Who are President Uhuru Kenyatta's advisors? Who are they? And is the president receiving the right intelligence, information, or report? Those are questions which must be answered. The president must put those questions to his team. His team must answer. There's no way the president can suffer this kind of humiliating defeats almost every now and again, and the Attorney General is still in office. People like David Murade, Rafael Tuju, or even who else is advising the president from their side? Now, these guys ought to have told the president that this thing is not right. Of course, the intelligence ought to have done that. And sometimes I ask myself whether the president is listening. But I don't know. Maybe the president has a strategy. Maybe he just wanted to achieve certain things, pushing it, letting him fail, then pick it from there. I don't know. Let me hear your thoughts. Do you think the deputy president is a smart politician, or he just took advantage of the entire process and ran away with it? Thank you, guys. And if you're watching this channel, please just give it thumbs up. It doesn't cost anything to click thumbs up. Just click thumbs up now. And for those who are always part of this gang, please, tufanye kitu. Let us click that subscribe button. Let us thumbs up, drop comments, share. Bye-bye.